今回は船で仲間と話した後、エデンへ行ってトリスタンのクエストをやります。
Some parts don't sit right with me still. Wonder if you and I might talk it through. A bit, yes. With the work I used to do, I'm no stranger to guilt and regret. Midway into my requisite sleep cycle is when it usually plagues me the most. We could have done better by Anchoress Brunn. If we'd properly convinced her to abandon the research, I'd doubtlessly still lament duping her, but she'd be alive. And yet, such actions were par for the course for me in the past. When my remorse for Brunn rears its head, it will need to get in line. Yes, Southworth was complicit. And now she's dead. I hope so, at least. According to Anais, we could have reduced the likelihood of that occurring by completing the brain-off. It's not anywhere near zero, but it's unlikely. She seemed pleased that we at least attempted to address her concerns, so I've changed, apparently. Thanks to you. No. There's plenty of credit and blame to go around. It's been a while since anyone gave me a good talking to like Anais did. And I'll admit your influence has been rather positive. I'm pleased with the path I'm on now. I didn't think this is what the plan had in store for me. I've been facing myself with the same zeal I face my enemies. With tidier results. Appreciate you taking the time to talk it over, Commander.
I think you ought to be careful, Commander. After what we saw in that lab on Cloister, I ain't keen on aligning with Auntie's choice and handing them more power. More importantly, it's becoming clear to me that folk don't actually want us here. Westport resisted as long as they could. You think that doesn't extend to the rest of the populace? There is another option. The Order. They're trying to do right by the refugees, after all, and seem reasonable when they ain't being strong-armed by extremists. You could consider them. Transition of power will be smoother anyway, if this war's anything to go by. I'm glad you're considering it. Listen, normally I'd take issue with one person playing Kingmaker. That is to say, you, and especially the Earth Directorate. But time's too short, and the stakes are too high for tribalism. There'll be enough time for that later. For now, we need to ally with someone who can defeat the Protectorate and close the rifts. So whatever you decide, I'll support you. We should move on, unless you've got something for me? So, Arbiter Rao. I can sympathize with his plight to some extent. Dead mentor, apparent cover-up, sure, I'd be mad too. But why do we have to be the ones to help him? Hasn't he got any other Protectorate hullheads to come to his aid? Maybe I ought to spell this out. I'm his enemy, Commander, and he's mine. Letting him aboard is putting both of us in a bad spot. I can agree to that, Commander. It's just him I worry about. The only rules he cares for are the Protectorates, and those rules are clear. The only good corporatist is a dead one. I just hope you're giving him the same directive you're giving me. That's all. Anyway, appreciate you hearing me out. How personal are we talking? Oh, come on. It's just a hobby. An obvious one at that. I picked up drawing from the grandpa in the domicile next door back in Tau Ceti. When I was a kid, he told me the best way to appreciate nature was to create some of your own and carry it with you. The notion's taken on a bit of a different meaning now with Auntie, but I reckon that grandpa has the right of it. Vincent. He used to draw posters and ads for Spacer's Choice. He had style. Of course, that didn't last. Age caught up and his hands started failing him. Couldn't draw, couldn't lift heavy objects, could hardly walk without exerting himself. And in Tau Ceti, if you couldn't work, you didn't get ration cards. We shared what we could with him, of course, but what we got already wasn't much. Last day I saw him, he refused the half-sal tuna can I tried to give him. Said it was him lending me his strength. He was gone the next day. We searched all over, then realized he must have wandered off into the wilderness, not wanting to be a burden. We never found him. Can't hardly open a tin without thinking about him now. So if you're wondering why I held a candle for Auntie's choice for as long as I did, it's because I know, had Auntie arrived just 4 months earlier, Vincent might still be alive. It's been years now since I talked about it. He was a good man. He deserved better. So did the rest of us. Anyhow, ain't meaning to talk your ear off.
では、訓練施設へ行ってバージルと合流します。
I hope we aren't too late. If Virgil's not about, he's like to be in the training grounds depths. There's a lift that will take us lower, located behind the door next to those stairs. Virgil! Oh, thank the architect I found you intact. We visited the Supreme Arbiter's office in Central Control and found something impossible.
Impossible? Why is it impossible? So that you may claim ignorance as to the truth of what you've uncovered? Fine. If you're still so thick-skulled, Tristan, then I can see I've no choice but to confess. Hold. Do you hear movement?
Attention, Arbiter Virgil Montag. Under the jurisdiction of the Council, we stand to bring you low. Do not resist.
Damnation! I knew the Sentinels were looking for me, but I did not expect they would come to this place. We have no choice but to fight. I can operate our turrets from this location, but you must engage the Sentinels head-on to prevent our being overwhelmed. Go now!
Arbiter Montag, lay down your arms. Surrender and die.
敵が現れたので、すべて排除します。
Those fools were but an expeditionary force. I've no doubt the bulk of their number remains on the surface. I shall take an alternate path to prepare a surprise for our would-be assailants. Then I shall flank them as you engage them.
Hold! You were beginning to say something before we were ambushed. I would care to hear it.
We cannot have this conversation until we are safe. Engage those on the surface and I shall join you. Go now.
地上にも敵がいるので、すべて排除してからバージルと話します。
Unfriendly. Activating energy transmitter.
Virgil, enough! Our being at odds with the Consul is one thing, but that was a small army! What have you done?
You already know whether you're willing to admit it or not. Do you sincerely have a need for me to spell it out before you'll face the truth? Very well then. Tristan, you stand before the murderer of the Supreme Arbiter.
I don't believe this. The Consul must have captured you and sent you to mental refreshment. It's the only...
Open your eyes, Rao. Those Sentinels were here with due cause. The elimination of a murderer. The Supreme Arbiter was planning to send a message in her final moments, pledging allegiance to the Consul. Who do you think bore witness to those final moments? I did what I thought was just.
No. You lied to me?
I had to. I knew that if you learned what had transpired, why I did what I did, it would destroy you.
Would it? Or were you just trying to save yourself from my wrath?
With the demands this war has made on us all, I'd not seen our mentor for some time. My visit was meant to be a surprise. Unfortunately, it was. I overheard her decision to align herself with the Consul before she realized I was there. This admission, I had no choice but to act.
But there was a choice. Why didn't you come to me? Together we could have come up with something. Some other course of action.
Because I didn't want you to know. I never wanted you to learn the truth because I feared you'd lose your faith. No. Sentinel Peralt's remarks were the first I'd heard of any secret room. I feared what you might learn there, so I scrambled to find an agent who might locate the room before you. I only had one contact who I knew may be able to do the job. Obviously, he did not succeed. I was pleased to learn that my decision did not result in his death, at the very least. That is news to me. A junior arbiter judging Tristan. I can't imagine you let that stand.
Killing one of Arcadia's future arbiters over a singular breach of rank would have been most tragic. But this is not the matter we're here to discuss. No. I can, if the situation was truly as he claims, understand his initial decision. Perhaps I even sympathize. Just a little. But playing false with me, that's another matter entirely, and the matter of justice remains. You're right. You're right. I can't let emotion get the better of me. This is not the first time we've encountered the paradoxical nature of Protectorate law. Each time we did, you convinced me to stay my hand, and I do not regret those I spared. Our prior conclusions inform my present feelings. I theoretically understand what Virgil did, for there was no proper decision he could make. But I cannot view this objectively. Virgil killed our mentor. It's madness. I cannot simply let that stand. Can I? My hesitation is more reflective of a weakness of character. One does not hesitate in the Protectorate. One acts. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I don't know. He was right when he said the Consul would simply manipulate High Command. But the law is clear on this. It is explicitly illegal for an inferior to execute their superior. The issue must be accelerated to a higher authority. But Is addressing traitorism not the utmost priority of any arbiter? Is not the betrayal of everything we stand for more significant than a breach of protocol? No. And even if there was, maybe this was right. We must think for ourselves if Arcadia is to survive. I cannot bring myself to execute my sworn brother. Oh, it would doubtless have been bloody. I cannot be certain who would have prevailed. I know not what to make of the Supreme Arbiter's betrayal. I'll have to ruminate on it for some time. But that aside, I forgive you, Virgil. You are spared.
Wise choice. You'll sleep better tonight, I swear. And every other, forevermore.
I don't know what to say. I just wish there had been some other option. That's all well and good, but it shan't undo my actions, or bring anyone back. I must live with that. 1,000 words of thanks for meeting me here, Tristan. I know not what the future holds for us, but for the time being I must make myself scarce. Though, before I go, a parting gift. May Tristan make use of it better than I.
Go with the Sovereign's blessing, brother. And be careful. If you survive today only to be brought low by an agent of the Consul at a later point, I shall be most annoyed. Commander, this has all been draining. I need time to process what we've learned today. What I've done. Later, I hope we might discuss it. Commander, I've had some time to process what transpired with Virgil. Despite the manner of what Virgil has done, I cannot help but be glad I did not need to slay him. I can only hope he does not run afoul of further Sentinels. I still have much doubt about my path, but I don't believe Protectorate law is as ironclad as I once thought. Having good intentions does not spare you. Doing what you think is right does not spare you. This cannot be justice. Yet what can I do? More than 100 years of Protectorate society cannot be changed by a lone body. Can it? But how? I see. I must follow my own path. My own sense of right and wrong. I can only hope it has been cultivated properly. I shall remain with the Protectorate, interpreting its laws through a moral instead of a punitive lens. Innocent until proven guilty is a novel concept, but it is worth a try. Words are not worth the air propelling them. Let me make good on them first. Then you may be impressed. When we began traveling together, I was not sure what to make of you. But your input throughout our time together has been invaluable. I deeply appreciate your hand in this investigation, Commander, and in entertaining my incertitude. Let us move forth to free Arcadia from injustice.
Tell me what ails ya. Oh, I see. You're here to gossip. All right, let's hear it. Who do you want to talk about? Seems friendly enough, if a mite guarded and a little thick-headed in his view of Auntie's choice. Regardless, I can assure you I'll treat him with the same respect I show you. I'll admit, though, I might be concerned by his newfound zeal for the Directorate. Think he had a good thing going making his own way. This could stifle him in the long run. Not only is he a couple smokes short of a pack, he's also insufferable. I try, Commander, but boy, he makes it difficult. Gotta say, I'm impressed he's using his own gray matter for once. Now that he knows real justice is malleable, I rather think he'll make a fine arbiter. Oh, I got a lot of choice words that would have even Val covering her audio receptors, so I'll spare you most of them. I just hope we don't regret letting Azza on board. She's dived headfirst into the deepest dregs of cult logic, at your prompting, I might add, so I reckon her mental state will only decline. It's a damn shame. Ain't often you see an elder solving an equation with one hand and stabbing someone in the eye with the other. So the real question is, does she get along with me? I sure hope so. But something in her changed after what happened on the island. Like a blade that's been blunted. It's a good thing, I reckon. I even think I saw her smile the other day. Fine by me.